and welcome to the Heikadelic Show. We would like to take this moment to let you know that viewer and listener discretion is strongly advised. So sit back, have yourself a nice cool drink or hot drink, and enjoy the show. And welcome once again to the Heikadelic Show.
Oh, hey man.
Go ahead, keep reading your beer. Like, there's no point in not knowing what your beer's about.
I know. It's a new one. Everybody, welcome to another edition of the Heikadelic Show.
Dun, 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 dun.
I got myself a new beer to try today. I've never seen it before.
Yeah.
Kirstritzer.
What? Oh, yeah, okay. So I used to drink their Rattler.
Really? These guys make a rattler?
Steelers to Dickie Banana Split.
Wow, they play it that fast. Do I have to drink that fast too?
No, but it gets right to the point.
Wow, this is like really, it's like being in a bar. It's like really, it's got like that sparkly draft taste.
Draft taste, yeah.
Yeah, it says fine hopped and wildly fresh taste. Okay,
there you go.
I believe it. It's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
You hopped on a wild, freshly taste.
I sure did. Cheers, pal. Nice to see you again. Mm-hmm.
You too.
Mm. Oh.
Got my dog who.
I was gonna say, you got your dad mug happening there, eh?
Mug, yeah. Thanks for picking up my dog poo. So, hi everybody out there in Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. You're all looking good, except for you. You're looking just fucking awesome.
Wow. I think he's lying, folks.
No.
So speaking of dog poo, I used to take a picture of my dog in the fall when all the leaves are on the grass and have the dog just sit there on the lawn, and I'd take a picture and I'd say, "Hey, Dad, guess where my poo is?" Because that's the type of time of year you can never find it.
Yeah.
What?
Well, you see, out where you live, I wouldn't pick up my dog shit.
Well, otherwise it winds up between your toes.
No, dogs don't shit that close. They'll take off.
Yeah.
By the time you cut it the next week, it's gone.
Well, yeah, it just depends if your dog shits where you walk.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Try not to walk where the dog shits.
No.
In winter, I actually have to plow a spot for my little dogs.
I guess it gets kind of deep, right? They get lost in the snow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, when your legs are only this big. Yeah. So, yeah, I actually draw, like, I make them a little oval.
Oh, cool. Right on. Just off to the side, like off the driveway there somewhere in the grass.
The back of the deck.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right on. Oh, why not?
Yeah, yeah.
I did the walkway for my dog this summer too out back. You know, the grass is like 4 feet tall. So I took the lawn tractor out there and I cut a couple of pathways, and that's where we used to go for walks, and that's where he just loved to go. So
yeah,
perfect. Holy shit, Junior's on.
Yeah, holy Junior.
Hi, Junior.
And what does Junior say? Hi, dude. Sad time with the loss of Miles Goodwin. Yeah, it is sad. It is sad. It seems to have affected a lot of people locally. I'm sad to hear that.
Okay, I'm going to be an asshole now, but who's Miles?
So he He was one of the founders of a band called April Wine.
Ah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I know names of bands. I don't know names of all the musicians.
No, that's
Yeah, that's
a perfectly fine question to ask, and
yeah.
it's probably good that you did, because people who are listening out there in whatever YouTube or Twitch or Facebook land
La
who
La
don't
Land.
know now know it's Miles Goodwin is from, or was one of the originators of April Wine.
Wow, what a big band that was too, eh? I've been listening to their stuff since holy shit when. Yeah.
I
When
remember
music was music.
their songs growing up. That was back when you're a kid doing acid, skipping school, and April Wine.
Pretty much.
Those guys.
Yeah. Yeah. You go to parties and people want to put music on to dance, and you put April Wine on because you're just that kind of guy. Nobody could dance to it, but you just wanted to hear April Wine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's new with you, pal? Anything cool happened this week?
I had a Christmas party. I was up at so this weekend I did like a shit ton of driving. I went to Blue Mountain, so in Collingwood, and then we had a Christmas party. And I got up there Friday. We spent Saturday messing around a bit. Went through axes and stuff like that, right? With like the company, and then we had dinner. And I kind of around 11 o'clock for dinner. Went up to the hotel room. We had to leave at 4:30 in the morning.
Why so early?
Dawson had a soccer game.
Oh,
so no. I had to come back from Collingwood, get him at 7 o'clock to get him to soccer for 8.
Oh, yeah, that kind of sucks.
Yeah. So, hey. So it was great. He won his game, and then he had basketball after that, and he won one and lost one. So it was still, 60-40. Well, I guess 50-50. Wow.
Busy with the kids with sports, man. I remember that. Hey, Hike Bro and Bro Derek. Hey, old man. I hope you
have
a drink so you.
We'll call you Bro Man now.
Yeah, so you can cheers with us. Oh man.
You want to cheers again? All right.
Yeah.
La 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 la. All right. Just in case you missed it, old man. All right. Everybody needs to have a sip anyways.
I remember hearing that version before.
Yeah.
But I don't remember where, because that's definitely not the one they did on the show.
No. I think I might have brought it up a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah. I remember bringing it up. Because the Dickies, it's the Dickies, man. It's punk.
I know they didn't do very much that we know about today, except the Banana Splits theme song.
Well, yeah. Some people know them a little bit more, but
yeah,
that's yeah. You're not a punk guy.
Not really. A little here and there, but I've never really gotten into it.
Yeah.
They've
been around since I guess 77.
Yep.
So,
been around for a while.
Yeah.
But they're not out now, right? They're done?
Oh, no, they're still going.
Really? Holy crap.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they've got any new tunes that anybody might know of.
Well, let me look up their discography.
Yeah. Something recent.
They'll definitely will have songs that people know, but...
Yeah,
they are still going. Discography.
Wow.
Here we go. The Incredible Dickies, Dawn of the Dickies.
In music for almost 50 years. Holy shit, eh?
Yeah. I'm not looking up their songs. It's going to take too long.
Yeah.
So how was your week? Did you have a good week?
Yeah, I had one day, like you said, driving. One day I was in the car for 7 hours. So it was like, okay, time to hit the couch, man.
Yeah.
Did the turn around, getting this, getting that, and then at 7 o'clock at night, I had to drive all the way to Mississauga by the airport and come back. So it's like,
Mr. Saga.
Oh, it wasn't bad because that time of night, it's pretty good if you know which way to go in and come back out. Because going in, it's great, right? You're coming down the 400 and you're going towards the airport, and you see everything going the other way is like jammed, right?
Yeah.
So it's going down the 409 and stuff. I'm going, oh my God. Like, it's just going to get something. I have to leave.
Yeah.
I said, I can't go back that way. So then I went 427 north to Rutherford Road and jogged across to the 400 and went north. So I missed all the crap. Yeah.
Yeah, so, you can do Rutherford or Queen, I guess, Highway 7.
Yeah. Highway 7 I know because that goes through Vaughan there. Too many sets of lights.
Yeah,
so
but
just
it's
wanted
still
to go that
quick.
extra little bit. It's not bad.
I used, when I worked on the highway, I used to take it to the West End a lot, right? Because I'd be starting at like fucking 5 o'clock. You know what I mean? So I had to be on the highway for 7, and then it just with traffic, it's 2 hours to get to Brampton.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. Well,
I remember the good old days too. Yeah. Did a lot of driving in the old days.
Being on a horse for 7 hours, they don't have a cup. Yeah, that's a lie. Fucking horses have cup holders. I don't know what kind of fucking ghetto ass horses you're riding, what kind of saddles you have.
You have to have the good saddle, and then the horse has to have the proper hat that has the drink holder in it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hey, old man, we'll take you for a ride on some horses.
Yeah. You got to come to the country and ride a real horse.
We'll get you on a Percheron.
Those are big boys.
Yeah, that's what my brother.
Wow.
Horse rides and shit, right? Like, 20 people. There are 20 people, a bunch of people on the back, and told them around all fairs and stuff.
Wow.
Did I cut out there? Because my thing blipped.
Yeah? Do you feel better now?
No, did I cut out?
No, you're doing a like a, but I didn't know if it was me or you. So who knows? Who knows where the bad connection is?
Yeah, it's probably me.
Yeah, don't you have the same all the time?
The same connection.
Decent where you are, right? Yeah.
No, I have. I'm in the middle of nowhere, man. I have a shitty connection. We just hooked up to Starlink, and I just put it up like fucking 30 feet in the air, so it doesn't have any trees to affect it, but it doesn't seem to be that good. Like,
yeah, because Starlink's supposed to be really good.
It's supposed to be, but I don't really notice. Like right now, now I look at my phone and it has full bars, but I just don't seem to be getting it as well. It doesn't, you know what I mean? It doesn't seem to be pulling stuff up as quick.
Well, that's weird. Because other people I know that got it, they just love it. It's like crazy, solid. They can stream whatever they want. It's always a great connection.
Yeah.
I tried getting it here, but it didn't work out.
Well,
I was on the beta list for almost 2 years, waiting. Finally, they sent me the email. Okay, we have it in your area now. Please click here to tell us you still want it. Otherwise, you're getting a refund in 9 days. I tried clicking that for 9 days and it didn't work. So I got a refund.
Well, you should have taken the refund, and when they had it on sale for $200, you should have bought it.
Yeah.
Because now it's up to $400.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
What do you do?
It seems to work out here.
But you shouldn't be glitchy.
Well,
There.
yeah, sometimes it does. Sometimes it cuts off. Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
It just sometimes it's gone.
Tanya
But
loves
like,
hers.
it just did a couple minutes ago.
Huh. Because
So I don't know anybody out there in internet land. Did I cut off there a couple minutes ago, or was it glitchy? Glitchy.
you do that so well, we don't know if it's real or not.
Fucking glitch, man.
The cool thing is, the reason why it's supposed to work so well is because their satellites are half the distance away from the Earth that the other satellites are. Right? Instead of 1,000 miles or 1,000 kilometers, it's 500 kilometers.
Well, we saw them that night we went out kayaking, right?
That was amazing.
Right? Hey,
and
guys, turn around, because there's shit there. Go have a look.
Yeah, look up there. And the thing is, they weren't like regular satellites. You just see a dot. You could actually make out a rectangular shape. And they were boop, 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 in a row. It was so cool.
Yep. It's like a meteor shower or something.
Kinda.
Yeah.
But in a straight line.
The first time that we saw them was the first time that they said you could see them, right? And they came over, and I was outside. We were having a fire. And I was outside, and I looked up, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on up there, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit. It literally thought, like, I'm like, man, is that like some kind of shit blowing up, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's moving, right? So it's like,
yeah,
wow, is that meteors or something? And then one of the guys you're with, he goes, I think it's the satellites. They're supposed to be able to be seen tonight. And then checked on the phones, right? And they're coming by right now. And that's what it was.
You can actually go on YouTube or Facebook or anything right now, and you can search for UFO sightings, multiple UFOs in a row, and that's exactly what it is. People went nuts when they first came out. They thought, oh my God, because what happens, and we saw this when we were kayaking, and I thought that was so awesome. You see the line of them together. They're all moving at the same speed together. And then it looks like at one point they're all turning off. Bink, bink, bink.
Yeah.
And like they're disappearing.
When they get out of sight.
Yeah, but they're not disappearing. They're still right up there, except the sunlight from the sun is coming around the Earth, and it's not on them anymore, so it looks like they turn off.
Yeah.
It was so cool. Yipper.
Yeah. No. And what are the chances too? Like, it's not too often that, you'd be out there to see them, let alone on a kayak on a full moon.
I know that was just wicked. And for you just to look up at the sky, and go, hey, look.
Yeah.
Right.
Just at the right time. Yeah. Because they were.
I was facing the other.
Not even a minute, right?
I know. I was facing the other direction. I would have never seen them if you didn't say, "Hey, look!" Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wild.
Kind of neat.
I kind of miss doing that, eh?
I do too. I'm still gonna go. I'm still going to go one more time at least. Oh yeah, I have to go.
Yeah.
And I got to do it before New Year. I got to go one more time. I missed the last moon. I kind of feel bad. I really wanted to hit it.
I know. I was outside looking up, and I was going, "Oh, that would be so cool tonight," but it would have been freaking freezing.
Yeah. I think I was playing on the full moon.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I remember driving home and it was pretty bright.
Yeah. I was outside. It was neat because you could see all the shadows from the trees and the snow.
Yeah.
That's really bright. Yeah.
Well,
hey, who knows? Who might
I don't know if I'm
chance.
going to get another kayaking on the full moon, but I'm going to be skiing.
Skiing on the full moon.
Yeah. It's so bright with the snow.
I don't think I'll be joining you on that because I got a lot of bad stories with skis. Like,
oh yeah?
Yeah.
Cross country skiing, once you get used to it, it's awesome.
That's how I started cross country. And then I wound up downhill, and it was downhill from there. Neck brace, everything. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, don't come with me. I don't need that kind of shit.
No.
Stay home. Know your limits, yeah.
I'll follow you with the snowmobile.
Yeah.
That's what we should do. We should have a snowmobile night out under a full moon.
Well, yeah, we could, but I'll be skiing, so. I'm taking my snowmobile this week to get the carbs done.
Yeah, right on.
Buddy's got one of those ultrasonic machines.
What's that?
It's like you put metal in it and it cleans it. Fucking just cleans everything out. It's like a vibrate.
Gotcha.
It's electrodes, but the water shakes.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so he puts the carbs in that to clean them.
Yeah. And they come out like fucking, they're brand new.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool stuff. I remember back in the day, we used to clean engines and redo engines too. So we had this, it was a 45-gallon drum.
Yeah.
And it was like an industrial degreaser, but it took everything off, right?
Yeah.
So you could drop an engine block in there or some heads or
was it trichloromethyl hydrate? It's like 26 letters.
It was a big word. I remember that, but I don't
because
much more than that.
We used to have this stuff that was a degreaser when I worked with stainless steel tubing, right?
Okay.
And guys used to bring their car parts in and literally put it in, right? They put it in for 12 hours or 24 hours or whatever they could. And yeah, man. And then it would be totally clean, right? It was awesome. But
yeah.
So we find out later, if you add carbon dioxide to this trichloral whatever,
right,
it turns it to mustard gas.
Oh, that's good.
We used to smoke in there.
Wow.
Because it's got the vents, right? So you can't smell anything. But we didn't know that. So we used to smoke in there. But all the old guys who used to work in there all died of like lung cancer and shit. No fucking wonder.
Yeah.
They used to smoke fucking all the time in there, right? We just go in once in a while, like two of us in front, almost fucking pass the smoke back.
I still remember it even had warnings on it not to get it on your skin, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And Kenny had these big long gloves, that went up to your elbows to put parts in, right? So I remember the one guy, he was in there, Mike, and he wanted to put his car parts in there. We said, well, whatever. But he did it anyway. And he didn't really tell us anything. He just said, I'm just putting my heads in there. So he did. And then later on that night, he goes, geez, my arms are itchy, right? And he lifted up his shirt, and like from here down, his arms were red. So his hands were in it long enough to cause a skin irritation. And he left his heads in that all weekend, where you're supposed to just put him in for like 8 to 12 hours.
Yeah.
And then, Monday he comes and he's fishing around in the barrel and he starts to get a hook and he's looking and he goes, hey, did you guys take my heads out of here? No, we didn't know you had them in there still. You're only supposed to put them in for a couple hours. So he didn't tell us. His heads were aluminum. Well, they were gone.
Yep, ended up eating it.
Totally dissolved. All that was left was all the metals, the seats and the springs and all the little shit.
Yeah,
was in the bottom of the drum. Yeah. The good old days. Yeah.
Poor fella.
Now we have safer products.
Spent so much money on those heads.
Oh God! Back then, none of that shit cost anything. You could rebuild an engine, redo a car, and if you had a couple $100 here and there, you could buy anything.
You could buy a car for $500, redo the fucking motor in fucking a weekend, put a tranny in it, have her all fucking done up, ready to fucking race for under $2,000 and under 2 weeks. Yep. Now you can't even order a fucking computer chip for your car in fucking under a month.
Yeah. I remember getting a racing cam for my car. It was $140.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I had a stupid little car for a little while when my son was born because my girlfriend told me I needed to buy a station wagon, right? So
Yeah.
I bought a Dodge Caliber SRT.
Oh, did you have one of those?
Yeah. Well, great.
I took one of those out for a test drive.
Yeah.
The SRT.
Well,
Fast.
I had a couple hundred more horsepower to it.
Yeah.
Dude. Oh, man. Crazy. So, but a 4-cylinder that's almost 500 horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A 4-cylinder car. And people are like, what the fuck, right? Because it's a 2.4 turbo.
Yes.
So 2.4 liter turbo. And yeah, man. All I did to this car was I put a blow-off valve on it. I put bigger injectors on it and fucking did the exhaust. Right?
Right.
Way you go. Fuck, man. This car just and put a computer chip in it, right? Yeah. But yeah, it was crazy. Just crazy. Even like I had friends who were mechanics and shit. They like, this car's nuts, man.
Yep. I took the first version out, which was it was a Dodge Neon SRT4.
Yeah, the Neon, the little one. Yeah,
it came out just before the Caliber.
Oh no, I know the Neon well. Great car.
Yeah. But the SRT4 and when they had the cars in the list that year for speed and performance, that car was right underneath the Viper.
Yep.
And I drove it. I took it out for an hour for a test drive, and it was insane. I couldn't believe how fast that car was.
Those cars are freaking stupid. I'm trying to pull up my buddy. My buddy has one, and his car. It's a full out race car, but street legal. Yeah. And all he does is like race it and fix it. And you know what I mean?
It's awesome. Of course.
But they are so small and so much horsepower you can get out of them. Now, the only other car that is like that, it's not anymore because people know about it now, but was the Lancer, the Evo. The Lancer, Mitsubishi Lancer Evo.
Was it really?
It with very little work would outdo a Lamborghini Gallardo. Like it's right there. It's same horsepower, same handling, same. You know what I mean? It's crazy, and that's it in an affordable car. I think you buy them brand new was under 25,000.
It was because I was going to buy one of those. I was ready to get it, but they did something stupid with those cars. Every single one of them had a package where they had a sunroof and they had manual seats. Yeah. So I'm a tall guy. Yep, that's it right there. That's even the color. That's the color I wanted.
Yeah, look at if you could see that motor. Look at the downpipe there. Like, hey, this is not your average.
No,
that's a 9-second fucking car.
Everybody knew it was a Neon looking at it, but they had no idea how fast it was.
Yeah.
And the problem is I couldn't buy it because I couldn't fit in the car. The manual seats, they went back and forth. They weren't power, so you couldn't lower them. And the sunroof came down and the bar was right on my head. So I tried doing the Gino driving, or I'd have to sit like this. So it really sucked. I couldn't buy the car. And then when the Caliber came out, I went to look at that one as well, and it was exactly the same thing. Sunroof and manual seats. And I was like, thanks, guys.
Yeah. Well, I thought I fit the Caliber all right.
Well, good for you, bud.
And it was a fun car, man. It was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Oh, I used to just kill guys in that car.
And they wouldn't think of it because it's a Caliber, right?
Fucking Dodge Caliber.
Or a Neon.
Yeah.
It's a little 4-cylinder shitbox that they made, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I had twin exhaust on mine.
Uh-huh.
I still remember my buddy's a fucking mechanic, and he's like, what the fuck does a 4-cylinder need twin exhaust for, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, come on. You gotta admit it looks cool, right? Because it just had one on it. So you put two. I like things equal, right?
Yes.
And then I took him for a ride in it, and he's like, holy fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just your little grocery getter. And being an SRT, so that was street and race technology, not street race technology. It had a stereo system in it, 15-inch woofer in the back that was detachable, so I could like take it out of it. In the back hatch, the speakers came down, so you could have a tailgate party and you'd have speakers facing out.
Oh,
it was wicked. Lots of little things. The glove box was a cooler. It would fit. You could fit 8 pops in it.
8 pops. Nice.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, why don't you have that car anymore?
I need to put a roof on my house.
It sucks, eh?
Last year of emissions too. I didn't know that they were gonna. I was gonna have to get an e-test done.
Yeah.
And that was back with e-tests, and I didn't. I was like, I might as well just get rid of the car because I'm not going to be able to get an e-test, man. I got this fucking thing chipped. I got fucking, I got the injectors done on it and all this shit. So I ended up selling it to a guy. And then they got rid of the fucking e-test a year after that. And I was like, oh my God. Like, so I sold, it would have been 2 years after I sold it. They got rid of the e-test.
Yeah. Right.
Fucking pissed me off. I would love to have that car.
I bet. I bet. Absolutely.
So there was only 2,200 of them made, 2,250 of them made.
Yeah, and it's funny because you don't see them anymore.
No.
Like, not at all.
Where
did they go?
Well, everybody's kept them, right? And I think in the club that I was in just online, they kept track of them. I think up to that point when I had mine, which would have been, that's 6-7 years ago now that I got rid of it. They had, I think 100 of them had been wrecked, like had been rode off.
Oh, I would doubt it.
Yeah. So like, you know what I mean? There's only 2,000 of them left type of thing then. Not to mention how many are just going to sit away and rot, and people are going to be like, oh, it's just a fucking SRT, or it's just the caliber, right? And get rid of it, not realizing that, fuck, man, there's only, not many of these things, and they were one of the fastest station wagons out there.
Yes. I think they were. Well, they had that whole run of SRTs, and I remember I was fortunate enough to get a ride in the SRT 10 pickup truck.
Yeah. So let me tell you a story about the SRT 10 pickup truck. I used to drive down to Vaughan every day, so I'm on the highways on the 404 and stuff, right? And there was this SRT pickup truck, and I saw him almost every day at work, and he was fucking always gunning it, right? And he was the long box one, right? Okay. So it was not long box, but it had the longer cab. Remember, they had a regular cab and a bigger one.
Yeah.
So, anyways, he's flying. He's racing all these guys up and down the highway, and I see him all the time, right? And one day I finally catch up to him, and we got a good run. And I look at the guy, right? And he's pulling up, and he has no idea. He has no idea what I got. So I pull up to him. Yeah, I'm in the Caliber, and I pull up from beside him too, so he can't he doesn't see my front or nothing, right? Yeah. So he doesn't see the scoops and shit. Yeah. So I look at him, and he's, and I'm like, yeah, you want to go? And I drop it down 3 gears, right? So fucking, I just step on it and pull away from him a little bit, right? And then I back off a gear. He pulls up to me and he goes, all right, let's go. And he hammers on it. And you just hear him spinning, right? I drop down again and I just fucking hammer it and I pull away from him. And I'm just eating him. Yeah. This guy's trying to catch me and he's cutting through cars now and stuff because I'm way ahead of him, right?
Yeah.
So I back off and he catches up to me and he's like, what do you got in that thing? And I'm like, it's fucking 4-cylinder. He's like, there's no way. I'm like, look at the tag on the back, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're a great little truck. Do you want to know another truck that really disappointed me? Was the Chevy Black Bat from Hell. The 454 SS.
Uh-huh.
My buddy had one of those with a 4-speed in it. So it was one of the ones with the overdrive.
Right.
And it just, it had sounded good, but it wasn't fast.
No.
It wasn't a fast truck.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. Like, I was going to say I'm not bashing Chevy, but maybe I am, because they always come up with these cars after other cars. Like Chrysler had the Challenger, then the Demon, and then GM came out with the Demon Eater, they called it, right? Their Camaro, 1,000 horsepower Camaro. It was a piece of shit. It couldn't even beat a Challenger. Like, you know? So they keep coming up with this stuff, but they just don't have it. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. What was that? Okay, they had
what's he saying?
E-test fluid you put in your gas before, guaranteed to pass. Yeah. No. So I worked at an auto parts store when that happened. And what people used to do to pass the test when you had to do the exhaust one, not the computer one, was they used to put methyl hydrate in it. I had to do it with my Mustang.
Yes.
So you put methyl hydrate in it and you go out for a fucking drive for a half an hour and you burn your tires off and you fucking warm her up as fucking hot as you can get it. And she burns her out. Burns her a little warmer.
Well, it's like giving it a huge octane boost, right? So it burns cleaner, burns hotter. They never check your fuel, so that's what you used to do. Yeah, you'd fill up your tank of gas and put one whole liter jug of methyl hydrate in it.
Yep.
Yeah. I used to buy.
We used to sell the 4 liter jugs to the shops all day long. Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're like, that's how we're making our money right now. We'll get her to pass for you, bud. Because you could get 3, and then you could buy a pass. Right? If you didn't pass it 3 times, you could buy a pass. I'm like, so if you knew your car was shit, you just fucking got it 3 times, whatever, and you got to drive for a fucking year.
Yeah. No big deal.
Fucking rip off that was. That's almost as bad as the carbon tax.
It's all just a cash grab.
How do we stop that kind of shit? That's what I want to know. Anybody know? Fuck, oh man, you got any ideas? How do you stop people? Like, how do you stop them from blatantly ripping us off? The government. Like, how do you do that? What do we have to do?
Everybody in the country, united as one, don't pay your income tax. What are they going to do? Arrest the whole country? No.
Well, yeah.
They're going to have to make changes. Shit like that.
We can't even get people to take one day off fucking work, let alone not pay their taxes. Worse fucking. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to go to jail. Which, why would you go to jail? But some people.
Well, they even tried that when fuel costs were going up, right? Gas was going up and up and up, and people were losing their shit. And they had these ideas going around where
don't buy gas on Tuesday.
Or you boycott a certain brand of gas station for a whole week, so everybody would not buy Shell for the first week of June, right?
Yeah.
And the second week you would not buy Texaco or something else, and that would have been enough to screw them, because if they can't sell their product for a week, right?
Hey,
it's huge.
Do you want to do something, or if you want something to do that's fucking hilarious?
Okay.
Peru, right? Go look at the gas prices at Peru. How much gas is it in Peru right now?
What? How much gas costs?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
okay.
Fucking like 70 cents a liter.
Really?
Wouldn't you think Peru might be a little harder to get gas than fucking Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, you just look at
do
the
you
price.
See all these companies getting record-breaking fucking profits?
Profits? Yeah.
Right?
Especially
we can't afford to eat, but
yeah.
hey, fucking Loblaws there.
the two biggest grocery chains are making record, profits. Record profits. And that's even on the news. So they're telling everybody they're making record profits.
Right.
So here's where the problem is. Okay, so there's two companies out there making a killing, right? But the problem is it's food. Yep. And there's people in the country that can't afford to buy food, right? And it's getting pretty tight for a lot of families, especially if you got kids. So why doesn't the government step in and do something about it? Well,
because the government wants people to rely on them.
And the government is getting cuts from these record profit companies.
Wow. The government runs off of cuts. The government runs off my cut, your fucking cut, your cut. The government runs off your cut. All that money that is given away is not the government's money. That is your money. Your fucking blood, sweat, and tears. But anyways, and it doesn't matter what government that is, fucking all of them are fucking corrupt.
Thank you very much.
So, anyways, want to start a colony? Let's go.
Let's do it. Any more comments from our buddies out there?
No. So if you want to start a colony, right? What kind of shit do you think you're gonna? What are some of the things that are gonna have to be a must?
Like, what do you mean?
There's gonna have to be some type of laws, some type of agreement, some type of book of rules, right? You can't just go off, hey, don't be a dick. It would be a great idea. But even going back to native tribes and stuff, aboriginal, whatever. So whatever, aboriginal or Canadians, whatever.
Yes.
I don't know the proper terminology we're supposed to use anymore.
Yeah.
But anytime that they had over 500 people, the strong started bullying the weak, right? Hey, I don't need to work as much because I can take from you. You give me some wheat because I don't need to grow it, right?
Right.
So anytime that their tribes had any more than had any more than 500 people, they had to have a government to make everything run right. So
it's called mismanagement.
It is. What's for the greater good? But
and it's a natural thing that happens. It's called power. It's called greed. And once you have people in charge of other people, you have that hierarchy. The ones at the top that make the rules get greedy, and they start bending the rules so they can profit. Right?
That's it.
And it's
for them and their friends.
Yeah, it's everywhere. And if you can eliminate that or make it less of a problem, then you might have something.
Yeah,
right?
No, it's true. Very true.
How to do that? I'm not really sure.
Either.
But I think what we need to do is go to the top.
Well,
cut the top of the pyramid, cut it off, and get rid of it, and start over and see what happens.
Well, that does need to be done. 100% right. We need a government that actually works for us, not these career politicians, not these fucking pedophile teachers who have to leave halfway through a semester because they paid off some fucking student. Anyways, imagine the world being run actually by people who gave a shit, who cared about you, who cared about me, who cared about fucking man.
See, like you have that pyramid, right? So it gets worse as you get closer to the top. So we have to find a level where if you cut it off there, You get rid of all the greed, you get rid of all the hierarchy. And the people now at the top of that level, they're still above a lot. But those ones up there, they will have a different idea about how things work and how things run. Yep. And hopefully we can progress past that spot without being the way it was when we cut the top off. You know what I mean?
So the top, okay, for that pyramid, it's pretty easy to, I know the numbers for it.
Yeah.
The top 1% of the world, the population, right?
Right. Yeah.
Own all of the money.
Uh-huh.
Right? That 1% owns as much as the rest, more than the rest of the world. Okay.
So you're saying get rid of that 1%?
Well, 4% work for that 1%.
Uh-huh.
To fool 90% of the people. Right? So that's 5%. So that's 5%.
So we have to get rid of
95% altogether, right? Yeah. So now you got 5% of the people who are working against 4% of the people to try and show that the 90% of the people, that 1% of the people are fucking robbing us.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, where do we start? Let's go.
Well, that's it. Where do you start? You start fucking by telling your neighbor. You start by going to a bar. That's why fucking COVID, they wanted to shut you down, right? So you can't plan shit. You're not allowed to go out. You can't meet in public. You can't fucking walk. Why? Because then you can say, hey, man, I'm fucking fine. I had the shits for 3 days. That was it. Yeah, me too. Fuck, I'm fine too. They want us to stay inside for 2 years, wreck our fucking economy, and start a whole bunch of shit and fucking stupid wars and fucking, again, bunch of fucking, don't get me on, I'm starting to go on wars.
I know, but it's funny that you say that because a lot of people didn't understand that. And when COVID was happening, when all the lockdowns were going on everywhere, people didn't see that. They were all going on about what the media told them. Oh, you can't be in a group because you're going to get sick. And if one person goes in a group, they're all going to get sick and blah, blah, blah. That's not what it was all about. You nailed it when you said they don't want groups of people getting together and planning shit.
That's right. Here's the best experiment ever. Look, we talked and we found out, I'm not bad. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
we found out
too.
You guys are full of crap.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I got 2 shots. I'm not going to lie. I got 2 shots. I can honestly say after I had the second shot, within about a month, my heart fucking literally felt fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Like it felt like it just felt weird. I don't know how to explain it, but it felt funny. Mm-hmm. And man, it took a long time for it to feel normal again, and now it still sometimes doesn't feel normal, but it's weird.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't get the 3rd or 4th shot.
No, it's true, buddy. And there's people I know there that they've gotten every single freaking one that was offered to them.
Yep.
Yeah.
For a 0.009% chance of fucking dying from it. Yeah, whatever.
But
mortality
those are the
rate,
same. That's the same mortality rate from the average flu bug that comes around every year.
Yeah.
Every year. And you lose your seniors, that are old.
Well, is that what they were doing? They were getting rid of the seniors?
Well, and your immune system isn't what it used to be. And there's also the people in the Middle Ages who just have a bad immune system.
Yep.
Sorry, when you get sick, it's a lot worse for you than it is for the average Joe or Sally.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Mm-hmm. But hey, what do you do?
But it's going to be, when you're an old age, anything's going to affect you more, right? Whether
Well,
it be,
I'm hoping
whether it be
I need to drink less of these to feel good when I
no,
get
no,
older.
no. It doesn't work like that. You got to do more and more.
Damn.
Yeah.
I know some guys, they have 3 beers and they're just gooned happy. And I go, damn it, why can't I be like that?
Well, okay. So one thing that I've noticed over the years is that people who drink a lot, like I have a few buddies who drink and they fucking, like, they really drink. And they get, like, they can drink like fucking 30 to 40 beers in a night, right? And I used to be one of those guys too.
Yeah.
But
way back.
these guys still do it, right? And it's like, first of all, why? Because they're like, you drank 6 fucking pop? But you, after 6 beers, like, he's trashed, right? Like, he's fucking after 6 beers, but he can just keep going and he stays that trashed. You know what I mean? It's
wow.
But there's a few of them. I have another buddy who's like that after 4 beers. After he drinks 4 beers, he's fucking but he can drink fucking to the, like, all weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I know.
And then I also have another buddy who fucking drinks. He literally drinks a case of beer during the day, and then when he gets home from work, he'll have some whiskey.
What do you mean? Drinks a case of beer at work?
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't run heavy equipment or nothing like that. I hope he paints signs or something.
No, definitely not. Yeah, he's done that for years, like literal years. He's since I've known him as a teenager, he's woke up with a beer. That's just him. And like, you can see him and he'll be like fucking a bottle and a fucking case of beer in, going to the beer store to get more, and you wouldn't even know it.
Wow.
Right? You'd just be like, hey man, how's it going? He's like, fuck. Yeah. And you just got to catch his little lisps, and you, yeah. I'm like, you're pretty corked, but you know he's going to be. And there's a lot more people out there like that than we think. I know when I was growing up, the statistics were 1 in 7 vehicles had somebody drinking behind the wheel. Right? So that was in the 80s, like the 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
Then MAD, was putting a stop to that, and it went down quite a bit. But in the last, I'm going to say, even like when I was working on the highway, I worked with the OPP a lot, and they're like, the amount of impaired driving has gone up like exponentially, like crazy. But
it has.
It's and he goes like, it's the immigrants. You get a lot of people who come to Canada who've come from countries where you're not allowed to drink, right?
Yep.
And you'll have a full-grown man, 35, 40, 50, 60 years old, who's never drank before, and he goes out and has 3 beers at a bar. He's fucking shittered.
Yep.
Right? Then they get into a car, they drive, and they're on the fucking 427, and they're smashing up shit. He's like, this is crazy. But again, he goes, it's not like they're trash, but they had 3 beers, and it's just somebody who's not used to it.
Right.
They're like, yeah, I can understand that.
True enough. Well, it's funny. That reminds me way back. There used to be a guy actually who used to come on our show once in a while, AJ, and he was from Alabama. He's
good old
man. He was on the show. Yeah, remember him? He used to come on the show. He was a buddy, and I went down to visit him. Yeah. And the difference between Canadians and Americans when it comes to drinking is quite staggering. It's actually kind of funny because we went down with 3 guys,
Yeah.
Drove down there to visit, and we filled the trunk of the Chevy with beer, like Canadian beer.
Yeah.
And when we got down there, it was like you're a celebrity because you're from Canada. Like you were so welcomed in Alabama. It's almost weird. It's like you're a movie star. And then when you tell them you got Canadian beer, they all want to try it. And you hand somebody, like you said, 3 cans of Canadian, and they're shit faced.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
and you're going, holy shit, this is unbelievable. And like we brought down the good beers. We brought down Extra Stock, Brador. It was all like 6.5% beer, right? It was heavy for us.
Yeah.
But down there, they got gooned off the shit.
My friend, he used to drive a truck border, like stateside, right?
Right.
He went down to California a lot, but he would take what was the Triple X? Do you remember that? It's like 6.9% or 7% or something.
It was in a green bottle. Triple X?
No, it might have been. I just remember Triple X. I would want to say it was a black can with fucking with silver. Why don't I fucking Google it?
I'm trying to think of it.
Triple X beer. There it is, right there. That's it, right there. 7.3%.
Let's see it. Oh yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And people were buying that just because they wanted that killer buzz.
This is the one you're thinking of.
That's a double X. Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dos Equis.
Yeah. They used to have a commercial on TV with that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Uh-huh.
Do you remember what? Okay, so that was the original long neck, right?
Yeah.
Do you know why they stopped that one?
No.
Because when you drank it, it came down like this, and it would make it foam. So every time you took a sip, those ones would always overflow. So they had to make the bottle go like this, so when it hit, it had a space to come back.
That's kind of funny.
Stop the foaming. Yeah, there's my beer history.
I still like the stubby bottles. They were great.
So my buddy Jason, he used to take this fucking Triple X shit down to the States with him. And like, he's like, dude, I can get anything I want for it. I'm like, what? And shit, I already said his name. Yeah. But he used to bring back some neat things that, like, things that the Americans have that we don't. That you know.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, things that like a lot of Americans have. You know, there's like 3 to 1. Yeah. So he used to get stuff like that for bringing this beer down. He's like, man, I stop in Detroit because he used to. He stopped all in different spots. Anyway, it's like I can stop in Detroit. And he goes, I can pick up this there, and then I'm headed to California. I can pick up drugs there, and I come back through Vancouver and back through. He did a great big move. Yeah. Wild. But he just, that beer for the truckers, they love it. And he was also doing that pre 9/11.
What was that?
He was driving stateside pre 9/11, right? So the borders were a lot easier.
Yes, that was totally different.
Yeah. If we only knew now what we know then, eh? Or knew then what we know now.
Well, as soon as you start going back, a couple of decades, things were different, like totally different.
Oh yeah.
Like I remember shit back in the early 90s. We would go to Buffalo to drink in the bars because they're open till 4 a.m. Like here the bars closed at 1. So we're like, what the hell? It'd be like 11 o'clock at night. We jump in the car and drive to Buffalo.
Yeah.
and they had a bar there called the Library. That was one of the favorite stops. And they had the barber's chair in there, right? So, what was it? It was like $2 or $3 or something like that. It wasn't. It was a couple of bucks, and you got to pick two things off the shelf.
Yeah.
So you'd sit in the barber's chair, and the girls would come each with a bottle, and they would stick the bottles in your mouth, and you just start swallowing.
Chug, chug, chug.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we would go there, and 4:00 in the morning, the bars would start closing up, and we'd drive home from Buffalo. Right? It's like a 2-hour drive, but it was a good drive. And I still remember the one day, my buddy Jeff and I, we used to like going to rally races, and we entered a couple. So we had a couple little tricked out cars, and he had this Datsun. It was a Datsun 510.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if you remember those cars.
Yep. Oh, I do.
But we had the engine a little tricked out. Like, it wasn't super fast, but it was fun. Yeah. But it had good suspension in it, all that kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
And we took that car to Buffalo one day to the library, and we got a couple of drinks to take for the road back, and we're happy. And we're coming over the Burlington Skyway, right? Yeah. And it's 4:00 in the morning. There's no cars out. There's nothing. There's nobody. So he's like, let's see how fast this car will go. So going down the Burlington Skyway, foot to the floor, screaming down there in this little fucking 4-cylinder. We had that car going 130 miles an hour. Right?
Awesome.
And at the bottom of the Burlington Skyway on the shoulder, you know how the concrete wall sort of goes in and out and it's like a little divot? The cops used to sit in there. There was a cop in there. And we come down the Skyway, and the lights came on, and we went, boom, and the lights shut off.
Just like, oh, yeah.
How's he going to catch us, right?
Yeah, never.
Yeah. Innocent fun.
Yeah. Oh, innocent fun. No. We don't have time for Mustang stories. I used to play around in my Mustang quite a bit, being in a little town. The cops know you, right? Of course they do. So, yeah, they come up to you like the next day and stuff, and they'll be like, yeah, I know it was you. Right? That was you. Yeah. Well, you didn't even have to have... I know it was you. You didn't have to have a fast car. No. You just had to get known. And I remember when I lived in Ajax, I used to deliver pizza. And I had a Volkswagen Fastback. A lot of people don't know what this car looks like. But this car, it's a narrow car. And you know the walkways cities have that go, like you go into a court, and then at the end of the court, you have a man path, a walkway that goes into the park and comes out on a court on the other side. Yep. And it has the chain link fences, right? Well, my car fit in between those. Yeah. So anything happened, cops after me or anybody, I would take off down these little. I knew the whole city or the whole town of Ajax because I did pizza. I'd take off down one of these dead end roads. So hey, we got the guy. He's down a dead end road. No other cars could fit through between those fruit posts and go down the walkways. I could. So yeah, they knew the little red Volkswagen. That's for sure. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, hey, the shit you can get into with cars, eh? Wow. And back then, too, things were different. Like, I still remember, what car was I driving? Shit. Oh, I was driving the Dodge Dart. Yeah. And I banged into the back of somebody, right? Oh. I bent this bumper. So I got my wallet out. I give the guy $60. Good to go. See ya. Yeah. Right? With that, he went and got himself another bumper and maybe something to drink, and everybody's happy.
right? Now,
Yep.
now you have everybody go, oh, my neck, you know,
Well,
blah, 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 blah.
I was driving a Grand Marquis, and this is back when I was a party guy. I may have
That's
been
a big car.
Yeah. I may have pulled up to a stop sign and kind of nodded off a little bit.
Oh, shit.
And there was a truck in front of me, and I fucking ran into him. Right?
Really?
He just goes, you jolted me. You know, it could have hurt my neck and stuff, right? I'm like, didn't even leave a fucking scratch on your bumper, bud. I'm sorry. My foot slipped off the brake, and I hit the gas, and I just gave you a little bump. I'm like, oh, fuck, I feel so bad, right? And he's like, wow, have you been drinking? I'm like, no, definitely have not been drinking, right? Asked me if I'd been doing coke for fucking 3 days, maybe, but no, I hadn't been drinking. So I'm single dad. I'm just coming home from work, working my second job. Just tired, man. I fucking, as I said, my foot slipped off the brake, hit the gas, and I dumped into you. Yeah. All right, get out of here. Fuck yeah! Woo!
God, that reminds me of a story too. I was in Oshawa at my buddy Dave's place, and I had the Volkswagen, and we used to go to a bar called Bobby Joe's. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It was a strip club in Oshawa. And it was down where you had the one-way streets just before they came together at Harmony Road, and he lived just up Harmony Road. So to get from his house to the bar, there was one of those walkways at the end of the road.
Like, are you talking Bond and King?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They come back together at Harmony Road just before that. Yeah. So right in that area.
Yeah, it comes like this and goes whoosh and up and around. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was up on the hill. Yeah. There was the walkway, the chain link fence walkway that my Volkswagen fit through. So we're got the guys in the car. We're going down to the bar, right? After partying at his house. So we just start coming down the hill, and lo and behold, we're going down the hill to get to Bond Street.
Yeah.
This is the cop car comes around the corner, and right away you see this bright Volkswagen not on the road where it's supposed to be, coming down the path. Yeah. So I stopped dead and stopped moving, and they stopped too, and they put their lights on. So, but now we are up the hill. We're not down close to the road, so they still have to get to us.
Yeah.
So Dave, the entire 2-4 out the side window. Right? And then we start coming down, and it was, we lost our dog. We're looking for the dog. The dog's blind, and bullshit story. And they're looking at us and go, you got any booze in the car? No. Yeah. So they look, we're good to take it easy, boys.
Yeah.
It was different. It was totally different.
I remember getting pulled over if you can take that case of beer out of the back seat and put it in your trunk without fucking stumbling, you can go. So the driver gets out, grabs the case of beer, puts his hip on the side of his car and walks down it, opens the trunk, and the trunk is fucking so full of empties that he can't fucking put the case of beer in it. Right? So the cop's like, you can fucking return these things, right? Let me back up. Okay, I got to tell you more of this story. Okay, so we get pulled over, and the cops just like, they knew us, right? But this was a couple of youth undercovers. So they knew 10 o'clock at night, the vehicle we're in, the guys who are in it are probably going to be drinking. So they pull over, and the one guy that we're with, so it's me and my buddy, we're the same age, and we would have been 19, maybe 20, right? The guy that we're with is like 25, 26 years old, and he's been around the bush a little more, you know what I mean? So we get pulled over, and these undercover cops, we don't know them, right? We know the town cops.
Right.
Yeah, so they're like, hey, are you guys drinking? Like, no. Right? Like, no, we're not going to fucking admit that. You got a case of beer right there on the back seat, right beside you, right beside me, right? Like, I had a case of beer, and it literally had one beer out of it, but you know how like when you pull one out, right? And you just rip it. So I just did that, right? In a 24. So I just did that, and I was actually drinking it at the time, but I put it in my arm. You put it in your sleeve, right? So you can talk and blah blah, move your arms around, and they think everything's cool. And worst thing happens, you get your underarm wet. So, anyways, so the cop's like, "You got a case of beer there, and you're not drinking and driving?" And we're like, "No, man." I said, "I called these guys to come pick me up. I said I got a case of beer. I had a beer when I got off work while I was waiting for them to come and get me, and they got me now." And he looks on the fucking floor. And literally, there's like fucking cans and bottles all over the back of the fucking, like all over the floor, right? You remember how it was back in the day. You just fucking throw it in the back seat, right? So,
yeah, not my car.
Right? Come on. So anyways, we're like, oh, fuck, now we're fucked, right? So the cop shines and he's like, look at that. You guys must be drinking and driving. You got all these beers here on the back seat. Like on the floor. Jody, the older guy, sorry, Buddy, the other guy, he looks at the cop and he goes, what kind of beer is that? And at the time, it fucking, who knows, it would have been probably Molson Canadian, right?
Yeah.
He said, Molson Canadian. He goes, right, it's missing one beer. Yeah. He goes, all those beers on the floor are what? He goes, oh, you got Old V there, and you got this, and you got that. And he goes, right. It's all mixed beers. It's just stuff that's been around. It's throw them in there so we can take them back later. Nobody's drinking, man, right? Nobody's drinking.
Yeah.
Oh, we still think you've been drinking. And then a town cop comes up, right? And as soon as he pulls, like, he drives by and he stops, and it's a cop that I know because his very first night on working, he busted me. Right? So I know this cop, right?
Yeah.
And he drives by and I'm like, hey, is that Officer Ross? And he goes, I'm not sure why. And I said, well, if it is, tell him Derek and Steve say hi. Right? Okay. So anyways, we know we're fucked, right? So the undercover cop goes and talks to the town cop, right? Because, you know, they don't want to blow their investigation. And he ends up coming back to me and he goes, Officer Ross says, hi, Derek and Steve. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, I have no idea what's happening, but he said if you could put that case of beer in the trunk, you can have a good night. And that's how my friend got out, grabbed the case of beer, put it in the trunk, and that cop I think he was pissed. But whatever they were doing, they weren't supposed to be known that they were in town. Because he waited for the other cops before, you know.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, yeah, you guys are fucked. But Officer Ross came up. There's 3 times in my life that guy saved my ass.
Really?
Yeah. And he saved me. Like, he's like, fuck, I don't know whether he just was like, you're actually a good kid, you're just doing stupid shit or whatever. But that was one of them. The very first time I met the guy, so there's me, 2 of my buddies, and we had bought a half quarter of hash, the 3 of us, so we split it, right? So you get a gram each, and you smoke the fucking half gram together, right? So we're going, and we go into this little park, and I give my buddy my hash. I'm like, here, you hold this. I'm gonna fucking roll up this piece of hash for a joint for us, right?
Okay.
All right. The other guy, my buddy goes, here, why don't you just take them all? Because do you remember how everybody used to make them like little flat chunks of hash for a gram? Remember so he goes, okay, I'll just take them. So he puts them all, and he puts them in his cigarette pack. Okay, well then that makes sense, right? So I'm rolling this joint, and my buddy who I originally gave my hash to goes, I don't feel right. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, I think I heard something. I'm like, it's probably those older fucking guys, your brother's friends. They're probably gonna try and scare us and shit. He goes like, no, man.
Right.
He goes, I think I hear cops. I'm like, fuck off. And I roll the joint, right? I get the joint rolled. He's like, no, I really hear cops. Then the other guy's like, I think I hear something too. I'm like, no, there's no cops. Like, let's start walking. As soon as we start walking, fling, flashlights come on and it's 3 cops. What do we do, right? So, luckily, the youngest guy, who at the time was 16, had the hash, right? Me and my other buddy, that summer we just turned 18, right?
Okay.
So we can get in trouble now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I have this joint rolled in my hand. We know we don't have the hash. The kids got the hash. We're good.
Right.
What do I do with the joint? Because the cops are there. Like where we are, there's a bridge entrance, and there's a spot where you can run and jump over a creek.
Okay.
Cops were at the creek spot, and one was at the entrance, right to the bridge. So we're fucked, right? So I hold the joint as long as I can. They're like, "Wow, we smell marijuana."
What was it lit?
No. But you had to heat hash, right? You remember, you heat hash, so you could smell hash in the air. You could smell, but it's probably gone by the time we were, they got there, or they got us. But we hadn't smoked it yet. So as I said, I just have this joint in my hand, and I'm like, okay. I am so busted. I am fucking so busted, right? So they end up taking the kid with the cigarettes, and they found the hash in the cigarettes. They're like, oh, we're taking you to the fucking jail, right?
Yeah.
You got to give it up. Blah, blah, blah. Taking you to jail. So they actually took him away, and I dropped the joint, and I step on it. I'm pretty fucking smart, eh? So I'm like, this is awesome. So now I can use my hands, and I'm talking, and they're like, blah, 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 blah. And I even shuffle, and I shuffle from one foot, and I put my other foot right on it, right? My other foot right over it. And then we start walking away, and as we walk away, hey, do you guys leave something back here? No idea what you're talking about. They pick up a fucking joint, right? They're like, it's got foot fucking marks on it. Let me look at your shoes. I'm like, oh shit. So we both lift up our shoes. No, it doesn't look like either of them. Like, it's probably been there all day. Everybody comes here and smokes fucking drugs, right?
Yeah.
And so Officer Ross is like, yeah, you're probably right. Could have been somebody else's. Like, oh fuck, wicked. So Officer Ross again.
Wow.
And the next time Officer Ross helped me out, there was some guys in town who were a little bit older, like probably like 15 or 20 years older than us. And they're old creepy guys trying to pick up the young girls, right? Hey, why don't you guys come in our guys? Right?
Hey, you're talking about us now. The old creepy guys.
Yeah. But so it was the old creepy guys trying to pick up young girls, like teenage girls, right? And the girls came by and they're like, that's the guy there, and they showed us who it was. And the cops came and were like, what are you guys doing? You're all down at Becker's. It was at the time, right? They're like, you're all down here at Becker's. Like, we know something's up. What's happening, right? So we're like, okay, so this is what's up. Like, these guys came down and they were trying to pick up these 2 girls, right? And the cop's like, okay, we've had actually a few complaints about this guy. He goes, as long as we're on duty,
really,
it doesn't matter what happens, we can't do anything. And I'm
really?
like, yeah. He goes, but if as long as we're on duty, you guys, you can do whatever. Like, really? Yeah. So 5 of us jumped in a truck. We had fucking bats and hockey sticks and shit, right? The cops ended up pulling us over, and they're like, guys, You can't be like that. you know. Oh, it was
Well,
hilarious.
you said anything.
Oh yeah, but yeah. That guy, yeah, he's lucky. The cop pulled us over before. We were going to his house with sticks and bats and stuff. We thought we had the cops on our side.
Mm-hmm.
We probably really didn't. It just would have taken care of a problem for them, and we would have gotten shit.
No kidding. It's funny you mentioned Becker's. We used to go to Becker's all the time too. And you know how you have like the 1 liter milk containers?
Yeah.
Right? The cardboard containers.
Yeah.
Do you remember the ones they had at Becker's? It was called Becker's Orange Drink, and they were 7 cents.
Jungle
that
juice.
Big freaking container of orange
Yeah.
juice or orange drink. Oh, I love that shit. That shit.
Becker's was like a big store for me because I grew up in Sanford and we had Jerry's, Sanford General Store. And I remember gas for my dirt bike. It was like 37 cents or something.
Okay.
It was like ridiculous. I don't know whether it was farm price or something, but it was cheap. And the pumps were only there for a couple of years and then they couldn't be used anymore.
Mm. Well, this is another place in Ajax where my Volkswagen came in handy.
Yeah.
Right where the Becker store was, right beside the Becker store was a space between the next store. And it went through to the back, to the back parking lot, and that's where the beer store was. So it used to be a fairly wide opening. But what the town did one day is they planted trees there on both sides. So now it was just wide enough for the Volkswagen to fit through.
Yeah.
So I would do that too. We go to the front, get some Beckers, and then take off down through the pathway, down around to the back of the mall. And it was a big mall to drive around both directions to get to the beer store. So I could take off there and get away from people.
When we were younger, so in Uxbridge, across from Becker's, there used to be a tunnel. So it was Rush Photo, the shoe shop, another place.
Where was the Becker's?
So the Becker's is where Circle K is.
Oh, right there. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so that was that. There was actually 2 Becker's. There was one there, and there was one up by the library, just past the library.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And they ended up being owned by the same guy at one point. But anyway, so they used to have a tunnel that took you from downtown, which is the old downtown, right where the Becker's was, into the park behind the library. And it used to be like 6 stairs, right? And then it went straight out. So anytime that we got shit by the cops and they were chasing us, like, because we were riding bikes or running, right? And they'd be in their cars. We'd always fucking book it down this tunnel, right? And we could always get away because once you went there was like 4 different ways you could split, and the chance of them finding it is slim.
Mm-hmm.
So, they ended up blocking that tunnel off, and it fucking sucked. We used to play with the cops, man. I think, you know what I mean? Like, we used to do stupid shit and get them to chase us, and they would chase us. Like, we'd fucking throw snowballs at their cars. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, obviously they're going to stop and fucking chase you. And they knew who it was. Because after a while. But they would also beat the shit out of you, too.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, if you got caught, they didn't just go, aha, boys. They'd smack you around. And it didn't matter if you were 14 or if you were fucking 40.
And it's tough when you get brought home in a cop car. And all it would do is take you home and drop you off and make sure your mom was there or someone to know that you were brought home by the cops. Yeah. But a policeman lived right across the street, and the sergeant of Durham Region lived 4 doors down on the other side of the street. So when a cruiser came in the neighborhood, everybody knew.
Yeah.
So wait till your dad gets home, and then you're going to get a beating. Yeah. How different, eh?
Yeah. It's a change in the world.
Well, it was never like police were still police. Like we're joking around now, just like they are now. But the way things were enforced and the ways the laws were was different.
Well,
it was a lot more relaxed. You still got in big shit, but it was different.
It was relaxed, but I also remember my friend getting kicked down a flight of stairs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Like, there was relaxed, but there was a lot of stuff that was like, oops. You know what I mean? There was a lot that thin blue line isn't that thin. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So we were told by a couple of cops who we ended up befriending, but they were like, a place like Uxbridge gets newbies, and they get old people, and they get people who are moved from one place for violent reasons or whatever, right? They get put in small towns. And Uxbridge was the dumping ground for Durham. It got all your shitty cops.
Oh, you're talking that's for the cops.
Yeah. Right? Like, gotcha. there was one cop that he was known to be violent. And then once he ended up getting charged and some people checked into him, he had been moved from 3 other places for violence against other people.
Wow.
Right? And this was kind of like his last dumping ground.
Yeah, because for Durham Region, Ajax was the headquarters for the police department.
Yeah.
Right?
Highway 2.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. I never knew that Oxford would be a dumping ground because
it's a small community, farm community, right? Small population.
Yeah, we were in town and we ran into some. We got to know some of the policemen because you'd see them every now and then.
Yep.
And then you get the guys that were still strict, still a cop, still enforcing the laws, but cool.
Yep.
And then you got the assholes, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But the assholes are weird because they'd be around and then you'd never see them again. So I always wondered, like...
because they're an asshole if something happened and they ended up getting fired or they got put on leave or... Like, the cop who kicked my friend down the stairs ended up, like, breaking his collarbone and shit, right? Like, he got charged. He ended up... He wasn't a cop when he was done, but that's what I'm saying. Like, they found out, like, this guy he'd been passed around 3 or 4 different stations for violence. So he went into my friend's apartment one day. He said, I saw you drinking and smoking drugs from your window. I saw you in your apartment from your window, and he was outside at Becker's is where he was, and he saw him across the road. So he came to the door, and then he goes, like, I know you're underage. I know you're 18. You're not 19. They ended up kicking in the door. Like, it was fucking bad. Another guy got beat right on the road on Halloween. He ended up getting charged.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And the cops, like, beat the shit out of him, like, hoofed him in the nuts and fucking just pummeled the guy. It was fucking bad. We caused a riot.
Did you just fart?
I did. Did you hear that?
I go, well, the dog's not here anymore. What the hell? That must have been Derek.
Yeah, that was me.
We caught that on air, folks.
Yeah. Fucking 129. Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty good, bud.
It fucking felt good, I
bet.
can tell you.
I felt it from here. Jesus.
Well, hi. It's that fucking time of night.
It is.
It is.
And you know what? I still haven't had an Uncrustable.
Yeah. Got some here, probably.
I haven't even, we got one grocery store here. I haven't seen them there. So I got to find them one day. Try these freaking things out.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen you, else you probably would have had one. You haven't come kayaking with me lately.
Actually, I have something in my car for you, too, that was laying in the car that you saw, and I showed it to you, but I forgot to give it to you the last time you were in my car, which is a memory stick.
Oh, yeah. Right.
It's still laying. It's still laying right there where I showed you. Oh, look what I got for you.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. So I was surprised. I heard from Junior at the beginning of the show and never heard from him after that. He was the first guy on tonight.
He was.
I know. Well, Junior, you're pretty quiet today. Old Man was more talkative than Junior was. So, anyways, I got to thank Junior, Old Man, and Tanya for being on our show tonight. It was lots of fun. It was a little bit of a different show. Again, only two of us, but we had stories to tell and things to talk about. So it's always a good thing. You never know what you're going to run into. But if you guys are into it and you guys want to have a drink with us next week, join us here next Monday night at 9:30 on the Heikadelic Show. Till then, cheers. Try and stay out of trouble. See you guys. See you, buddy.
Later.
Cheers.
Well, that's another wrap for the Heikadelic Show, folks, so it's time to get dirty. And don't forget, listen in next week on Monday night and every Monday after that for the Heikadelic Show at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like more information on the Heikadelic Show, please find us at www.theheikedelicshow.com or .ca. We'll see you all next week on the Heikadelic Show. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor for the Heikadelic Show, it's easy. Just send us an email at info@theheikedelicshow.com. Meanwhile, you can browse our website at www.theheikedelicshow.com or .ca. Click on our sponsor tab and find out more information on sponsorships. Thanks for joining the Heikadelic Show, fans.